God says, this message is not just a message, it's an emergency light in the dark corners of your life. This is not like the other days. This is not like the other messages. This is the night the spiritual gate opens above your home. Archangel Michael is not just speaking to you, he is begging, pleading, crying for 30 seconds of your full attention, because what is about to happen tonight in your house, if ignored, will change everything. God says, you are not alone. But you've been walking as if you were. You've been breathing as if no one was watching. You've been praying, but doubting. You've been asking, but questioning. You've been waking up with heaviness, feeling a weight you can't explain, and tonight the reason for that will finally be revealed. But if you ignore this now, you will be left in confusion while heaven tried to warn you one final time. Michael says, this is not a prediction. This is not a vision. This is a spiritual truth that was hidden until now. God says, listen to me. Archangel Michael was dispatched with heavenly fire 3 hours ago. He stood at the edge of your house. He looked at your doors. He scanned your windows. He placed his divine hand upon your roof. And then he saw it. He saw the entry point of the one who has been trying to destroy your sleep, pollute your mind, and delay your blessing. He saw the demonic trail of a presence that walks at 3 a.m. around your house and whispers confusion into your life. This has happened multiple nights, and yet you thought it was just dreams. No, it wasn't. Michael says, that was real spiritual warfare. And tonight was their final planned strike. God says, my child, tonight someone's name will be spoken in your dreams. Don't ignore it. That name is connected to a hidden truth you've needed to know. But the forces of darkness have hidden it behind a veil of memory and emotional fog. They've kept you distracted, discouraged, and disconnected so that this name would never reach you. But heaven is tearing that fog down tonight. Michael says he is standing in your room while you read this. He is not coming later. He is already present. And he is holding a scroll with a name that will trigger divine awakening in your spirit. But if you look away from this message, that scroll will remain sealed. God says, the house you live in is spiritually louder than you think. When you sleep, angels take shifts. When you sigh, heaven hears. When you cry and no one responds, your guardian angel takes that tear as evidence of injustice. And now heaven is declaring justice over your home. Someone tried to put a spiritual padlock on your front door, a lock that kept financial flow out, emotional clarity out, relationship healing out, and divine connections from reaching you. But tonight, Michael is coming with heaven's key. That padlock will break, but only if you spiritually welcome it by reading this now and not turning away. God says, there is someone you've trusted who has hidden something about your past. They smile when you speak, but they tremble when you begin to get close to the truth. They speak in polite tones, but inside they fear the moment you will remember what they hoped you'd forget. God says, this person will try to contact you in 2 days. When they do, listen carefully. Their voice will quiver when they lie. And in that moment, you must speak the truth that has been burning in your spirit for months. God is going to give you the exact words to say. Michael will whisper it into your spirit. But you must not walk away from this alert. You must prepare your soul. Archangel Michael says, the candles in your house flicker not because of wind but because of energy. There has been a shift. Someone prayed against you using your name. They lit something with a false prayer. But it never reached heaven. It reached darkness. And now that false altar has your name on it. But Michael says, do not be afraid. He is going there tonight. He will scatter the ashes. He will unbind the spiritual thread they tried to tie around your soul. He will do this, but only if you agree right now in your heart and say, I receive this. God says, a strange animal behavior in your neighborhood is not just nature, it's spiritual. The barking at night, the shadows you see from the corner of your eye, the heaviness when you try to rest, those are not coincidences. Something has been sent to monitor you. And tonight it planned to move from watching to attacking. But Archangel Michael is placing a flaming sword between you and it. You may feel something shift physically tonight. Your sleep might feel deeper. Or your room might feel colder. That's not fear. That's Michael's presence overtaking every hidden force in the spiritual realm. God says, someone is thinking about you tonight. Someone who hurt you but never confessed. Someone who walked away while still holding the secret of what they did. They think they are free. But heaven says, their guilt is boiling tonight. You may feel a wave of emotion hit you unexpectedly. That is not yours, it's theirs. God says you must not react with pain, but with prayer. Pray for that soul. Pray that they release the lie. Pray that they confess. Because if they don't, heaven will expose it anyway. And when it is exposed, they will lose everything they built on your suffering. Michael says, tonight is not a night like the others. This is a divine checkpoint. There is a visitor from heaven entering your timeline, standing beside your bed, and touching your pillow. That angel is going to rewrite something that was wrongly written about you. Someone slandered your name. Someone sent a message about you behind your back. Someone framed you with false words. And that record exists in the spirit world as a legal charge against your destiny. But tonight, Michael says that heavenly court is being reopened. And you have been found innocent. God says, this is not the end of the message. It's the beginning of your deliverance. You must be still tonight. You must not argue. You must not overthink. You must be still. Because at exactly 2:43 a.m., Michael says your name will be mentioned in a heavenly gate. A scroll with your life path will be reviewed. And the decision made will determine what blessing or delay enters your next 21 days. If you respond with faith, that scroll will glow with divine gold. If you respond with fear or distraction, it will dim and wait. Choose well. God says, you already know what to do. God says, someone once tried to curse your bedroom. They spoke words while you weren't home. They stood near your bed. They whispered envy. They placed something small near your things. But heaven saw. And Michael knows. And tonight, that cursed object, whatever it was, is going to burn in the spiritual realm. You don't need to find it. You need to agree with heaven. Say in your heart, Michael, burn it now. I agree with God's justice. And you will feel a lightness return to your space that you haven't felt in years. God says, you were not supposed to suffer this much. But someone delayed your miracles. They weren't more powerful than you, but you didn't know how to resist. You didn't know the timing. You didn't know the plot. But heaven says that ends now. Michael is uncovering every secret plan, every dark whisper, every shadowed agreement made against you. You are being vindicated in realms you never even visited. Because heaven has decided, your pain must produce power now. Your sorrow will now produce sacred strength. Your rejection is birthing royalty. Your tears are the oil of tomorrow's crown. God says, there's a divine letter being sent. It's not written by man. It's not typed. It's not digital. It's spiritual. It's coming to your soul like a knowing, a strong and quiet voice inside you that says, this is it. This is the sign. This is the moment. When you feel that voice, don't brush it off. That is the letter. That is the alert. That is the message heaven waited years to deliver. And tonight, while the world sleeps, the gates of divine knowledge are opening over your home. God says, this is about your legacy. This is about your children or future generations. This is about breaking the cycle that someone in your bloodline started with darkness. Someone opened a door long ago, and that door brought in spirits of failure, sickness, betrayal, and confusion. But heaven has selected you as the bloodline breaker. That is why your life has been harder. That is why you've been isolated. That is why others didn't understand you. But heaven did. And tonight, Michael stands as witness. The curse breaks now if you believe. God says, there is still time. But not much. You must pray before midnight. You must stand still and declare, God, I open my house to heaven's justice. I receive Archangel Michael's protection. I agree with your truth. And then, let your spirit be still. Do not fear. Do not panic. Just breathe. Because at midnight, something will shift in your spirit. You may feel heat. You may feel wind. You may even cry without knowing why. That's the presence of the angel touching your soul. Accept it. Michael says, someone is going to call you tomorrow pretending nothing is wrong. Don't be deceived. Listen between the words. Their silence will scream the truth. You must not fall into old emotional traps. Be wise. Be still. And be watchful. Because you are being watched from both realms, the darkness watches you out of fear, but heaven watches you out of love. God says, you are safe, but you must obey. Do not ignore signs. Do not dismiss the spiritual because it feels strange. You've asked for miracles. You've begged for clarity. This is it. This is the response. You must hold this message in your spirit. Read it again. Let it wash over you. Let it shake the lies out of your mind. Let it break the chains around your sleep, your thoughts, and your home. God says, your name is now being spoken in angelic meetings. Your future is being rewritten in real time. And tonight, as Archangel Michael stands over your house, nothing will enter that is not of God. Nothing will stay that was sent in hatred. And no power of hell will prevail against your purpose. God says, breathe now. It is already beginning. God says, now that you've allowed this message to sink into your spirit, something has already shifted. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but the vibration of your atmosphere has changed. The temperature around your heart is softening. There is a sense of divine breath breathing over your emotions, because something ancient has just been removed from your house. Yes, something that was hidden not only in your room but in your timeline. Tonight wasn't just about your physical space, it was about resetting the very memory of pain inside your soul. Archangel Michael says, there's a sound in heaven that just played when you opened your heart. It was a sound of victory, not over an enemy, but over time itself. You see, the delay you've been experiencing was not just external. There was a loop in your life, a repeated cycle, and it had a time signature stamped on it by forces that hope to keep you trapped. But that cycle is now interrupted. Michael has struck the spiritual clock, and the time loop that repeated disappointment after every new opportunity is broken. The delay is expired. The false endings are over. God says, you've suffered much in silence. And tonight, the angels are writing a spiritual compensation decree with your name on it. This compensation is not only financial, although it will manifest that way too. This is emotional, mental, relational, spiritual, heaven is balancing scales that have been tilted against you. You gave love and received betrayal. You gave loyalty and received lies. You gave effort and received exhaustion. But God says, "Now I repay you, not as the world does, but with my own hand." God says, "Remember what happened to Joseph? He was thrown into a pit by the very people he trusted. But that pit became the doorway to the palace. Tonight, your pit is becoming your prophecy. The pain you went through is now the reason for the promotion coming. God is not blind. The nights you wept when no one saw, the heavens recorded it. The mornings you pushed forward even when your soul was shattered, the angels stood in awe. And now, Michael says, the order has been released. The records have been checked. The time has come. God says, the people who ignored you will feel a strange pull to think of you this week. Some of them will try to reach out. Others will hear your name in places they least expect. This is not an accident. This is a spiritual ripple caused by the divine release taking place tonight. Some of them will not recognize why your name suddenly burns on their heart. But you will know. You will remember this message. You will remember what Michael said, "This night is marked." Marked in heaven's records as your turning point. Michael says, you were chosen for this fight not because you were weak but because you were the strongest. Not because it was fair, but because you could carry what others would collapse under. And now, your strength is being rewarded. God did not forget. You were not abandoned. You were trained in silence. You were tested in private. But your results will be revealed in public. The people who mocked you will witness the miracle. The ones who underestimated you will bow to the light that shines from your elevation. God says, someone once told lies about you. They twisted stories, exaggerated your words, and poisoned the minds of others against you. That lie spread like smoke. But smoke always fades, and truth always shines. And now, the very people who believed those lies are questioning everything. Your fruit is speaking louder than their fiction. And Michael says, do not go back to defend yourself. Let heaven defend you. Because when God vindicates, no man can reverse it. Michael says, tonight is the final night that certain spirits can whisper in your ear. There were tormenting voices, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, insecurity, that disguised themselves as your thoughts. But they weren't yours. They were planted. You didn't realize it. But those voices have been evicted. You will begin to hear differently. You'll wake up lighter. You'll breathe clearer. Because your mind has just been washed with heaven's rain. Michael says, the fog has lifted. God says, in the next 72 hours, you will encounter a strange coincidence. It may be a name, a number, a place, or a person from the past. But do not dismiss it. This will be a divine signal. Michael will stand nearby when it happens. And if you listen carefully, your heart will vibrate with confirmation. This sign is the key to your next door. Take it seriously. Do not overanalyze, just move with faith. God says, someone who once thought you were weak is now intimidated by your silence. They expected you to break. They expected you to beg. But instead, you walked away with your dignity. That decision echoed in the spirit realm. Michael says, that was your breakthrough moment. And heaven marked that day as the day your timeline shifted permanently. You thought you were losing, but you were winning. And now, the ripple of that victory is catching up with your present. Michael says, tonight while you sleep, heaven is sending a dream. This dream will not be ordinary. It will be vivid, emotional, possibly unsettling, but do not fear. It will be encoded with divine instructions. When you wake up, write it down. Even if you don't fully understand it, write it. Because days later, the pieces will come together. That dream is not just a message. It's a map. It's a warning. And it's a prophecy. God says, don't worry about who left. Their exit was part of your exodus. Some people's presence was a form of bondage. And you didn't see it until they were gone. Now, you are breathing again. You're starting to feel again. You are being restored to yourself. The person God created you to be is awakening. And that version of you is unrecognizable to the people who tried to bury your soul. They won't understand this version of you, and that's okay. You weren't born to fit their mold. God says, I'm placing a new garment on you. A spiritual cloak of authority, discernment, and favor. This is not just about protection. This is about power. You will begin to see through people. You will feel energy when you walk into a room. You'll know things you weren't told. This is not paranoia. This is discernment. This is Michael's gift being activated in you. Use it wisely. Don't fight every battle. Just walk in your truth and let the light of God do the confronting. Michael says, this week someone will try to provoke you. They will say things to pull you out of character. But remember this moment. Do not respond with the flesh. Respond with stillness. Smile. Say nothing if needed. Because they want to drag you into their chaos. But God has placed peace upon your life, and you will not let anyone revoke it. God says, a door you've been knocking on will suddenly open without you touching it. This is not normal. This is divine. Your consistency has unlocked what your hands could not. And when that door opens, do not hesitate. Walk boldly. The blessing behind it will not just help you, it will bless generations. Michael says, there's a scroll in heaven with your family name on it. Generational chains are being broken. What your ancestors couldn't overcome, you will. The addiction, the poverty, the silence, the abuse, the fear, it ends with you. You are the curse breaker. You are the line restorer. You are the history maker. And heaven is backing you. God says, tonight is sealed. Your house is sealed. Your spirit is sealed. The blood of the Lamb is over your threshold. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No tongue raised against you shall stand. No darkness assigned to you shall survive. Michael is guarding every window. The angel of the Lord stands at your front and your back. And you are under divine surveillance. Michael says, rest now. It's over. The battle that raged unseen has ended. The silence has been broken. The enemy has been scattered. The lies have been exposed. And you, child of God, are rising. God says, the clock has struck divine midnight. And in heaven's book, your new chapter has begun. God says this is the moment you were destined to read this message. It is not by accident. It is not by coincidence. This very moment was orchestrated by the divine long before you knew what would happen tonight. Archangel Michael has been weeping before the throne of heaven for you. His sword has been glowing all day. Something in your life is about to shift suddenly. But God says, only if you listen right now, something that was meant to destroy you will be turned into your greatest miracle. This is not a general message. This is specific. This is about you. And if you ignore it, you may never receive this kind of protection again. Archangel Michael is not just watching over you, he's trying to interfere directly tonight. You are being watched. But not in fear. Not in paranoia. You are being watched because your name came up in the heavenly records. There was a scroll, and your name was written on it. When God opened that scroll, your situation was revealed to the angelic council. That is why you've been feeling strange lately. The heaviness in your spirit. The moments where you felt like crying for no reason. The weird signs you've been noticing, repeating numbers, hearing your name when no one was there, thinking of someone from the past randomly. These were not just signs. These were warnings and invitations. Tonight is critical. What's about to unfold in your home, in your emotional realm, in your hidden family situation, has already been seen in the heavenly realms. Archangel Michael says he's already seen it happen. He says, you must open your ears. You must open your spirit. You must be willing to believe even if you don't understand. Because something was planted in your house that you didn't notice. A spirit of delay. A spiritual shadow hiding in the corners of your mind. An atmosphere that made you doubt yourself, made you feel like giving up, made you believe that nobody is coming to help you. But Archangel Michael says that ends tonight. If you open yourself now. If you say, "Yes, Lord, I receive this," then a sword will fall from the heavens spiritually and destroy the thing that has been whispering lies into your soul for months. God says you have cried alone and nobody knew. You've kept things buried because you didn't want to be seen as weak. You've pretended to be strong when inside, something has been breaking slowly, piece by piece. But God saw it. God felt it. Every tear you cried in silence, He counted. Every night you tried to sleep but your heart was racing, He stayed by your bed. And tonight, He is telling you, through the voice of Archangel Michael, that something in your environment must be corrected. Something you tolerated too long is about to be removed. There's a conversation happening about you right now in the spirit realm. Someone is speaking your name. Someone is trying to use what they know about your past to block your future. They thought you were too broken to rise again. They thought they could outsmart heaven. But God laughs at the plans of the wicked. And tonight, they are being exposed. There is a shift coming so big, even your enemies will be shocked. But it all depends on your response right now. Will you believe? Will you obey? Or will you ignore this message like others before it? Michael is not whispering this time. He is shouting. He says, "My child, I order you to open your soul. You are not crazy. You are under spiritual attack. But heaven is stepping in tonight. This is why strange things have been happening. Your energy has been off. People around you acting different. Some who used to love you now giving you silent distance. They don't even know why, they're being influenced spiritually. But Archangel Michael says this can be reversed if you act now. If you declare, "I am chosen. I am protected. I am not alone." Say it aloud. That activates protection immediately. The forces trying to enter your home spiritually will be blocked. Tonight, they were coming to plant confusion. They were going to increase your emotional distress. But now, because you are reading this, they are panicking. You are being awakened. That's what they fear most, your awakening. You have a divine assignment that has been delayed, but not denied. God says, "My child, you have forgotten who you are. You are not ordinary. You are anointed. You are chosen. You were marked in the womb." The reason your battles have been so intense is because your purpose is massive. You're not just going to be restored, you're going to help others get restored. And that's why you were attacked. They thought if they could break your mind, they could kill your purpose. But they failed. you're still here. And tonight, everything changes. Something happened 3 nights ago that you didn't notice. A shift. A spiritual hand was placed near your door. It tried to influence the energy of your home. You may have felt a strange coldness, or heard sounds that had no explanation. That was not your imagination. That was spiritual warfare. But God says, do not fear. I have sent Michael to stand guard over your home tonight. But you must not doubt. God says, someone in your family has been hiding something. They thought you wouldn't find out. They've been secretly speaking negative things about you, planting doubt in others' minds. But heaven has exposed it. Archangel Michael says, I have seen the words they said behind your back. I saw the text messages. I heard the lies. But God will use their own mouths to reveal the truth. And when that happens, you will not gloat. You will stay humble, and God will lift you higher. A financial breakthrough is connected to this moment. There is something that has been blocked in your life because of what someone did years ago. They may have done it unknowingly, or with jealous intention. Either way, it interrupted your flow. That's why money comes and disappears fast. That's why opportunities feel like they vanish right before you grab them. That blockage is spiritual. But tonight, it is being broken. Archangel Michael is being authorized to cut the cord that was tying your progress to your past pain. You are going to begin to see unusual favor. People will start bringing you blessings without even knowing why they're doing it. They'll say, something told me to help you, or you came to my mind out of nowhere. That's heaven working behind the scenes. Someone in your past, a soul you used to love, is thinking of you deeply. They are battling something heavy. They haven't reached out yet because guilt is silencing them. But God is touching their heart. And soon, you will receive a message that will shock you. It will carry emotion, confession, and clarity. You don't need to chase them. Just prepare your spirit to respond in love, not bitterness. You have also been seeing dreams that confuse you. Strange symbols. Faces you don't recognize. Rooms you've never seen. That's because heaven has been trying to speak to you, but your mind has been clouded by distractions. Tonight, if you pray before sleep, even for just 2 minutes, you will be shown something clearly. A dream with divine instruction. A dream that will make sense when you wake. Write it down. Don't ignore it. That dream will have a key for the next door you are meant to walk through. God says you must release what you cannot control. You've been carrying burdens that aren't yours. Trying to fix people who don't want to be healed. Trying to prove your worth to those who don't see your value. But tonight, heaven says, let them go. I will replace every rejection with divine connection. I will send people who see you through heaven's eyes. But first, I need you to stop bleeding for people who enjoy seeing you weak. That sounds harsh, but it's true. Some people only liked you when you were broken because it made them feel powerful. But now that you're rising, they don't know how to respond. God is shifting your environment. Some people may distance themselves. Let them. That's protection. That's clarity. That's God pruning your path so your next season is not delayed. Every person who walks away is making space for someone sent by heaven. Do not chase. Do not beg. Do not explain. Just trust. Because what's coming is better than what you thought you lost. Archangel Michael is sounding a trumpet. Not in the sky, but in your soul. It's a call to wake up. To stop doubting your intuition. To stop settling for less. To stop staying silent when your spirit is screaming for change. You were not created to live in fear, guilt, or shame. You are royalty. And tonight, heaven wants you to walk like it. There is a blessing coming that doesn't match your current situation. That's why it will feel strange. Unexpected favor. A phone call or email with a divine opportunity. Something that was delayed is now being released. But be careful who you tell. Everyone is not meant to know what God is doing in you. Some will celebrate you, but others will secretly curse you. So for this next season, move in silence. Let your fruit speak for you. Let your success be your testimony. You don't need to announce every move. Just walk boldly. Walk humbly. And trust God to make the announcement at the right time. God says this message will be confirmation for what He already whispered to your heart. That you are about to be elevated. That something old is ending. That someone unexpected is about to help you. That your prayers have not been in vain. That you are not invisible to heaven. That even when you were on the verge of giving up, angels were assigned to keep you going. Now the choice is yours. Will you act? Will you open your heart fully? Will you believe that this message reached you on purpose? Will you pray tonight before you sleep? Will you say out loud, I receive this. I trust God. I welcome the protection of Archangel Michael. Because if you do, the next 24 hours will bring signs. Small but clear. Confirmations that will shock you. You'll hear something. See something. Feel something. And you'll remember this message. And you'll know heaven was speaking. And all of this, all of it, was because God didn't forget you. He never did. And He never will. God says, now that you have allowed this truth into your spirit, the process of divine reversal has already begun. What was meant to trap you is turning into the platform that will elevate you. The people who spoke ill of you are already beginning to feel the weight of their own choices. And no, you won't have to fight back with words. You won't have to defend yourself. God says, I am your defender. I am your vindicator. I am the voice behind your silence. The weapons formed against you are being dismantled, piece by piece. And the more you stay in peace, the faster the shift will complete. Archangel Michael says he has been walking room to room in your house spiritually, placing protection at every doorway, every mirror, every place that's been holding hidden tension. You may notice a change in atmosphere, lighter air, calmer energy, even sudden tiredness. That's not ordinary. That's the after effect of divine energy doing its work. He says, you don't have to understand everything to accept your deliverance. Just breathe and allow. There is a woman connected to your past who tried to do something in secret. Whether it was out of jealousy, pain, or confusion, she released words and intentions that have been sitting in your energy field. You have forgiven her in your heart, even if you didn't know exactly what she did. And because of that forgiveness, God is turning her curse into your blessing. What she whispered will be shouted as a testimony in your favor. And the very place where she tried to block you, be it career, family, or love, is where you will be honored the most. There's a man who was supposed to protect you, but he didn't. He either left you emotionally, physically, or spiritually unguarded. That created a wound you didn't even realize you carried into your relationships. But God says, I'm not just healing your pain. I'm healing your pattern. You are being spiritually rewired to not attract pain anymore. You are being lifted out of that cycle where love meant suffering and help always came too late. That's over now. Archangel Michael says, you will no longer be the one who loves more, gives more, and loses more. Now, you will receive. And you will receive in abundance. God says, prepare your home. Clean it, anoint it, speak life over it. Because what is coming is not just spiritual. There is a literal physical shift coming. A move. An open door. An unexpected check or contract. A conversation that starts off casual and ends in divine favor. But you must be ready to receive. That means your mind has to stop expecting pain. Your spirit must stop assuming rejection. And your heart must stop preparing for the worst. This season is not like the others. This blessing is not like the others. This time, you won't have to lose something in order to gain something. This time, joy will come without sorrow attached. This time, no hidden price. No secret betrayal. No bitter aftertaste. Just grace. Just favor. Just peace. But only if you stop comparing it to what you've experienced before. Archangel Michael says, "You are stronger than you think, but you are not meant to be strong alone anymore. Help is coming. Reinforcement is coming. People who carry light in their words and healing in their presence are being drawn to you. You will meet them through strange timing, maybe at the store, online, through a friend of a friend. But you'll know when you meet them. Your spirit will feel calm around them. You won't have to pretend or shrink. That's how you'll know. They'll feel like clarity, not confusion." God says, "Do not sabotage this next blessing by questioning your worth." You keep asking, "Why me?" But heaven responds, "Why not you? Do you think I would invest this much protection, this many angels, this level of supernatural attention on someone who didn't matter? You are the one who breaks the pattern. You are the one who survives what others didn't. You are the one who heals the bloodline. That's why your battles have been so fierce. But now, your breakthrough will be just as massive. You will begin to feel a divine pull towards something unfamiliar. A new location, a new opportunity, a new way of thinking. Don't run from it. That discomfort is your spirit stretching to receive what was always yours but felt too big for your old mindset. You're not being forced out of your comfort zone. You're being delivered into your growth zone. Everything around you will start to either align or exit. Don't fight it. Don't grieve what leaves. Thank it for its part in your story and let it go. Because the next chapter begins now. God says there is someone who has been secretly watching you grow. They haven't said it yet, but they admire your strength. They admire your heart. They admire the way you keep going. This person was sent to help, but you won't need to beg for it. They'll show up when your energy finally aligns with your value. And it's happening now. The spiritual war that was surrounding your name is losing power. The whispers against you are falling silent. The curses have reversed. The chains are breaking. You may feel it as sudden peace or sudden emotion. Don't resist it. Let it flow. Your spirit is remembering what freedom feels like. Archangel Michael says this moment was marked in heaven. A time when everything would start to return, peace, clarity, purpose, even lost money and forgotten opportunities. They are circling back. But God says, what you're about to receive is not a repeat. It's a reward.